I do further find that consecutive sentences are necessary to protect the public from future crime and to punish you in this case. That consecutive sentences are not disproportionate to the seriousness of your conduct in this case and to the danger that you pose to the public. I further find that Mr. Starkey's history of criminal conduct demonstrates that consecutive sentences are necessary to protect the public from future crime by him. So I will order that the sentences imposed on count 2, murder, and count 4, tampering with evidence in this case, shall be served consecutively with one another, and further, they will be served consecutively to the sentence that has been imposed by Judge Cezanne in case number 2015 CR 588 on the docket here in the Ashtabula County Court of Common Pleas. There will be no fines imposed in these cases, although the court costs will be assessed against the defendant. And of course, following the jury trial, you do have a right to appeal from the jury verdict as well as the judgment and sentence that I am imposing today.
I just want to thank Nick Irochi and Cecilia for their professionalism and just how professional that they performed and how hard they worked to get this sentencing done today, which was well deserved. Sergeant Cumberledge for his everlasting diligence in finding her and being there for me through this whole ordeal. And he was there for me from day one. And he told me that he would never stop looking for her until he found her, and he did. And I have his picture on the back of her gravestone. I text him all hours of the night and day, and he would always respond. Sometimes he'd say, I have to go back to bed, but he was always there for me. And his wife, Melanie.
He received 15 years to life on the murder charge, an additional 3 years or 36 months on the tampering with evidence charge, and the 18 years to life sentence in this case is to run consecutive or in addition to the 35-year sentence he received in Judge Cezanne's case. That, of course, in that case, he received a mandatory minimum of 20 years, so he could be eligible for parole in that case in 20 years, but that case has to be served first. The sentence in that case has to be served first before he would even begin to serve this life sentence.
I know that the family is going to continue to push for him to stay in prison if he ever becomes eligible for parole. His record will certainly, we hope, count against him. The violence in his offenses, we believe, dictate the sentence that the court gave him in both cases. In the first case, he not only assaulted this woman, he brutally beat her and then dropped her off at home as if nothing had happened. And then he turns around and meets poor Mandy and beats her to death. 2 women in a relatively short amount of time, just a couple of years between both assaults. And as the family said in there, no hint or indication of remorse of any kind.
For him to even be continuing to claim innocence is just appalling. I mean, he did it. He tried to claim during the trial that he was set up. He tried to blame law enforcement on the poor investigation, and this was an outstanding investigation. He tried to throw mud at the wall and hope something would stick. But for him to continue to maintain his innocence even after the sentencing is outrageous.
Oh, Mandy was my loving daughter. She just, she had a smile on her face that just would light up a whole room. We had, the community just pulled together so much for her. They had a candlelight vigil. They had 2 benefits to honor her. I don't know, we had over 300 people at her funeral, and I didn't even know these people. And it was all people that had just come across her in just a moment's time, but they just remember the smile and her beautiful face and just how loving and kind she was to everyone. And she just, met up with the wrong person, and he had hurt her before, and she was afraid to tell me. She told me that somebody beat her up on the street, and it wasn't true. It was him, and she couldn't tell me, and it just breaks my heart that she couldn't tell me. And then he got her.